Hey leaders, this is your 5 minute check-in. We are on talking about creating a relational environment in our small group. Last week we talked about transparency, being authentic, and this week we're focusing on mutual accountability. Accountability a lot of times it has these negative connotations, but really what it's more about is encouraging one another. And mutual because with students, I find that when we empower them in places where they are learning on hands and growing. And not only that, but what we're saying that applies to us as well. They respond better. So mutual accountability, for example, an easy example is since it's the new year is talking about spiritual disciplines. Every time January rolls around, people are talking about Bible reading plans and being more consistent with that prayer. And it's just when, be an example by being one of the first ones to say, hey, yeah, I did it or I didn't do it. Being consistent in asking and encourage them to ask you. So in my house, my kids have held me accountable to rules in our house. And at times where I've been out of line, they've called me out on it. And the humbling part is receiving that accountability. But the encouraging part is that in it, I see them taking ownership. I see them desiring to follow the rules. I mean, it actually makes it easier to follow the rules when it's not just rules for a certain segment of people in the house, but for everyone. And so, mutual accountability is it's not so much. It is about following rules, but it's more about encouraging one another and asking the hard ones. Let me give you another hard example, or another example, but this one will be a little more difficult. When it comes to students that I've encountered who are struggling with what they're watching, what they're allowing their eyes to see, what their minds to be impacted by, and I'm making this very broad. It could be music, it could be entertainment, it could be social media. I don't like asking. My flesh does not like asking those questions. They're intrusive. They can be sensitive. You can open up or step on a landmine. But when I open up and do that first step about being transparent, share my struggles, and then say that, hey, the ways that I've overcome these struggles is through accountability, with the purpose of not saying, hey, I gotcha, but with the intention of saying, hey, I got you. We're going to do this together. You can do this. I'm going to help you. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to ask you because I love you. And not only that, I want you to ask me. That mutual accountability inspires the transparency. That transparency inspires that mutual accountability, and it kind of plays into creating a more open and safe relational environment. Because if I'm vulnerable with you, then that gives them something to say, well, I can be vulnerable with them. I can trust them. And so what that doing is saying that we both need this. We're both blind people trying to find, or beggars trying to find food. So mutual accountability plays a huge role in our small group. So when you guys are going through and you find that there's an area of growth that's been brought up to the group's attention, like tonight, one of the questions is, how do you see Jesus' love compared to yours, and what's an area of growth that you want to grow in? So if someone says, hey, I'm not very patient with my parents, you can ask, can I, for one, I identified that I had that same issue. You're talking to the choir here. How can we hold each other accountable when it comes to me respecting, people in my family and you respecting people in your family? Let's ask each other week in, week out. How's that going? And it's not meant to be something to hold against you, but it's meant to show you that you're progressing in it. I'm going to pray for you that we're working towards this, even if it's incremental. And so that's what mutual accountability is all about. And it goes a huge way towards building rapport and a relational environment that encourages spiritual growth. I hope that's encouraging to you. I'll see you guys later tonight.